Good morning. My name is Peter Shoemaker. I am the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences, and I am pleased to welcome you to Seton Hall. Today, we're going to give you a preview of your major, as well as many of the other majors in the college. During your time at Seton Hall, I encourage you to go beyond your major and to explore other disciplines and opportunities. Study a language, take a course in history, anthropology, or in the sciences, which are not represented here in this session today. Before I turn this over to the chairs, I want to let you know that the team in my office and the departments and their secretaries are here to support you. Feel free to come and visit the deans in Fahey Hall and the chairs and their support staff across campus. Now, finally, I will ask each department chair to talk about his or her department. Any questions that you have, you can ask in the Q&A channel. The first chair, whom I will be introducing, is Dr. Angela Weisel of the Department of English.
Hi, so as Dean Shoemaker said, I'm Angela Weisel. I'm chair of the Department of English at Seton Hall, where we host the English and Creative Writing majors and minors, the Writing Minor, the First Year Writing Program, which all of you will likely pass through this year, as well as housing the Irish Literature Minor and the Medieval and Renaissance Studies Minor. So let me introduce you to the English department. Our faculty are terrific. You'll get to engage with highly knowledgeable publishing scholars who will challenge you to create the best works and ideas you can, and they'll continue pushing you towards ever increasing ideas. And you'll take workshops with writers who are publishing fiction, poetry, and essays all the time, who know the publishing business backwards, forwards, and upside down. We truly care about your opinions, your growth as a student, and just as much your well-being. So be sure to come to get to know us in person or virtually this fall, or even reach out now. So what can you expect from your classes? You'll get to read, write, and think, extremely valuable skills on today's job market. You'll do lots of analysis, critical thinking, and close reading. But more importantly, you'll have the chance to develop thoughtful, creative ideas to solve complex problems. You'll write fiction and poetry about the things you care about. You'll certainly read fun books and write about them, but you'll have a chance to think about them and approach them in ways you've never imagined. English and writing are inherently multidisciplinary. You're encouraged to apply a wide range of theoretical models to arrive at thoughtful, original conclusions, and to bring your knowledge from all your other classes to apply to what you read, and to write about whatever engages you. You'll get to read classic works of literature from the past to consider how they address issues in the present, and contemporary works that speak to our current moment. And as writers, you'll add your works to theirs. You'll be dealing with challenging texts that you may not get at first. But in the English department, trying out your ideas, whether they ultimately work or not, is a virtue. Our goal is conversation, figuring out what we think about the material together. You'll encounter concepts and ideas and writers from so many different times and places. America and the British Isles, of course, but beyond those as well, into the broader Americas and the wider English-speaking world. The English department is truly committed to diversity in what we read, how we approach what we read, and what we write about, whether in essays, short stories, or poetry. And our English majors have been very successful. They've gone on to work at places like Oxford University Press, the New Jersey Devils, Millennial, New York University, the Secret Service even, Sirius XM Radio, the Union County Prosecutor's Office, and Cengage Publishing. You can see you can do a lot of different things with your English major. And if you really just decide you like being in school, our students have gone on for law degrees at places like William and Mary, Rutgers, and Seton Hall, and for other advanced degrees at Fordham, CUNY Grad Center, Penn State University, NYU, Columbia, and Texas A&M. So really, you can do whatever you like with your English major. And most of all, we encourage student participation and input. English is a really student-centered major. As one of our students always likes to say, English is the people's major. I don't know what that means, but it's a nice thing to say. So apart from being ready to participate in your classes and share your thoughts, we also want you to be a part of the English community, to join us for events like Quiz Night, our British pub-style trivia event, What You Can Do with an English Major, our annual speed dating career night, and Holiday in the Hallway, our end of semester dessert feast, even if this year the holiday is going to be Thanksgiving. But we're thankful for you, so that works fine. And join our student wing, the English Club, which sponsors great events like Shakespeare Day, author nights, readings, and trips. So you can definitely get involved at any level that you like. So please take part in these events, whether you're an English or creative writing major or not. We like all of you, and we'll be happy to see you. Please come join us in the English department. We just can't wait to meet all of you. And so it's my pleasure to pass this on to Dr. Tom Zheznik, chair of the history department, who's right down the hall from us.
Hi, welcome everybody. My name is Dr. Tom Resnick. I'm chair of the history department, and I specialize in U.S. history with a particular focus on U.S. Catholic history. The history department offers a wonderful program. We have both a major and a minor, and in addition, our 15 full-time faculty members offer a wonderful range of courses, from ancient Greece and Rome to medieval Europe to recent U.S. to the modern Middle East. There's something for everybody. Our specialized courses also include things like environmental history, Native American history, women's history, African American history, Latin American history, and Asian history. Our courses contribute to a lot of the interdisciplinary programs on campus, from women and gender studies to Africana studies and everything in between. So if you like history, please look into our courses. And the great thing about our courses is that none of them have prerequisites. So you don't have to be a history major to take them. If there's a course on World War II or the Revolution that interests you, you're more than welcome to sign up for it. For incoming students, I have two bits of advice for you all. First, as incoming history majors, we are encouraging you all to take our freshman seminar, which is a dedicated course for incoming history majors. But if you're undecided, or if you think you might be interested in a history major, you're also welcome to sign up for freshman seminar. Simply have your freshman advisor or your peer mentor put you in touch with me as chair of the history department, and we can make arrangements for you to get into the freshman seminar. And secondly, if you're just looking for a history class to round out your schedule, all of you are welcome to take any of our 1,000 level classes. Those classes include world history, Western Civ, U.S. history, Latin American history, Asian history, African history, and Middle East history. All of those 1,000 level courses are available to you and are open to you. But also, please note that you are able to take those courses out of sequence. This is a little bit unusual for most programs, but you're able to take U.S. History 2 before taking U.S. History 1, or Latin American History 2 before taking Latin American History 1. So make sure you look at the full range of courses that are out there and available to you. Our history majors have gone on to do wonderful things in the world of business and education. We have students who have done internships at the Smithsonian Institution, at Christie's Auction House in New York City, at a range of museums and local historical societies. And they've gone on to graduate school at top-notch programs at NYU, Notre Dame, Georgetown, and graduate programs, law schools as well. So history really does open up a wide range of career options for everybody. And so if you're interested in history, consider being a history major, or at very least, take some history classes. We look forward to meeting you. And now I turn this over to Dr. Diana Alvarez, who is the chair of the Department of Languages, Literatures, and Cultures.
Okay, thank you very much, Thomas and Angela. I'm Diana Alvarez Amel. I'm the current chair of, may I brag, one of the biggest departments in the college, and it has a mouthful of a name. And it is a lot of knowledge right there, because we teach from Arabic to Russian, from classical Latin to modern Spanish, to, of course, French, German, Italian, as well as languages such as Chinese and Japanese. Furthermore, we have a graduate program in Asian Studies. Along with these language courses, we have cultural study courses such as classical studies, Middle Eastern studies, Russian studies, and Latin American and Latino studies. Now, what can I say about languages? Languages has a contradiction. It requires adult discipline. And on the other hand, it also requires the flexibility of a younger brain. To learn a language is, you may have heard, to see the world differently. When you learn another language, actually you realize that not only at the practical level, there are words that do not translate to other languages. Okay, this happens in English, and it happens in all languages. There are terms that are not that do not translate exactly. You know this automatically. The word, for example, simpático has spread through the US because there isn't exactly a word in Spanish for that personal attitude. And this is just a very simple example, but languages challenge you. And furthermore, I will toss this in that I've been reading repeatedly. Actually, they studied the brain of bilingual people. The same as musicians, your brain actually functions differently when you are a bilingual person. You process information differently when you have control of at least 2 languages. Why am I saying this? Because to learn a language, and we offer BAs and minors in the languages that I have listed, to learn a language gives you a lifelong skill. I have to stress, as my colleagues, that if you have a minor or a major in a language, you're in the job market, you immediately have an edge. Okay, it's one of those skills not only that you carry throughout the rest of your life, but also that will give you an advantage, number one, in the practical sense in the job market. I remember when I just started at Seton Hall, I was teaching a beginner's course, and a student of mine in accounting came up very excited at the end of the semester to tell me that he had gotten an interview for a position, and that he had been told that he had been chosen because he had in his resume that he was studying Spanish, and he was so excited. He said, and it's just beginners and I got the job. So it does give you that, but it also gives you the ability maybe to understand the rest of the world, why certain cultural groups perceive and process information and in a different fashion. And this, again, I emphasize, not only it's a marketable skill, but it gives you a personal dimension that adds to your knowledge in life as a human being. I hope you get in contact with me. I'm highly technological. You can contact me through email, and I will be very happy to answer any questions you may have. And with that, I thank everyone and give the word to my colleague in the upstairs department in philosophy, Ab Sakim. I'm trying to pronounce his name in.
That works. That works fine.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Zachem, Dr. Abe Zachem in the philosophy department. I'll just give you a sense of, what we do in philosophy. A lot of students may have never taken a philosophy class in high school, and so it can be a little bit confusing. In philosophy, we ask really big and really interesting, from my perspective, questions. Some of the questions that we've raised over the last couple of years, are numbers real? Do they exist like this pen exists? Are we living in a simulation? And how would you know if we were? Can science explain ethics? Is terrorism ever justified? Should we have a free open market for organ sales? So if I want to sell a kidney, I should receive monetary compensation. Especially given a time in this pandemic, how do we morally allocate scarce resources like ventilators? By what moral means should we do that? My area is increasingly in business ethics and philosophy of sport. So questions that I raise are, for example, though legal, in terms of the NFL's decision, was it moral to have taken the actions they did against Colin Kaepernick, or should Colin Kaepernick have the right to free speech on the job, right? So we try to make philosophy as relevant and topical in tackling these really, really pressing metaphysical, epistemological, and ethical problems. This is what our faculty is engaged in. As in the other areas of the College of Arts and Sciences, the faculty are really excellent in philosophy. We have philosophers, quite literally shaping debates in philosophy, which, is just mean, intellectually, pretty stunning. Major debates that are coming out of the work that we're doing in the philosophy department at Seton Hall. Some of the courses that you can expect, some of them are more traditional, historically oriented, intro to philosophy, ancient, medieval, contemporary. And we try to encourage our faculty, though, to teach according to their interests and their research interests. So you'll find classes on philosophy of time, which I would have I would have liked to have sat in on it, because every movie with time travel just confuses the heck out of me. Philosophy of medicine, philosophy of terrorism. I'm putting together a class on the philosophy of sport and philosophy of meaningful work. Courses in philosophy and gender. So we try to encourage our faculty to really teach to their passion, and you'll notice that most certainly in and outside of the classroom. So philosophy does have a certain discipline to it. We talk about doing philosophy, and at least in a traditional way, this means engaging into rather analytic logic and argumentation. So when we raise these big questions and we tackle these very difficult texts, in each and every class, you'll be asked to reconstruct the argument clearly and precisely, and then attack the argument. Try to play the devil's advocate and point out certain premises that are false or questionable, and then begin to develop your own ability to construct and defend your own arguments, right? And we've been very, very successful in this regard, having several students in the last couple of years actually publish original work, some in undergraduate journals and other in generalist philosophy journals that I would be happy publishing in. One student even presented his work at the American Philosophical Association main session, which, again, I would love to do that. Like that doesn't happen, especially for an undergrad. That's really unheard of. So as you begin to develop and make these sorts of arguments, you'll gain all these just leverageable skills, as they say. Certainly a certain degree of imagination, asking big out-of-the-box questions, critical thinking, construct and defend arguments, and really exceptional communication skills, oral and writing. We really want you to be able to clearly and precisely express your position on a variety of really, really tough issues. So this is translated into success for our students. We've had students go on to graduate school in philosophy. One student this last year, a graduating senior, was accepted into the University of Pittsburgh program. They accept maybe a 0.5% of their applicants. It's one of the top 4, maybe, philosophy programs in the world. So we had a 6-year fully funded fellowship there. We have students, law school is usually one of the big areas that attracts students to philosophy. We've had students placed in Cornell, Northwestern, Columbia, and a variety of other schools. Now, most of our majors, however, combine philosophy with something else. Our major is very, very flexible and enables you to major in philosophy, dual major in something else, and minor or get a dual major in philosophy. Recently, we've had students who have combined majors in philosophy and biology. One is a current student who is on the pre-med track, and last year was accepted in an extremely competitive summer institute at bioethics at Yale University. We've had another recent grad that has gotten to Harvard Dental School, and we also have our students that go on into business and combine philosophy with other social sciences, and humanities. Quickly, we also have a vibrant extracurricular aspects to our program in our department. We have a very vibrant and active philosophy club. We have reading groups, one going on over the summer, conducted by one of our faculty and students on a book called The Feminist Pursuit of Happiness. And I also am a co-director of the Seton Hall Ethics Bowl team. It's another extracurricular. If you've ever debated, if you've ever participated in an ethics bowl, or you would like to debate all sorts of pressing ethical issues, then there is that opportunity. The Ethics Bowl in particular, we've placed in the top 20 in the last 3 years, as high as 6th in the nation in terms of over 230 other schools, right? So yeah, I hope that you're interested in philosophy. I hope you take some classes with us. If you have any questions, both pragmatic or philosophical, then you can feel free to reach out to me at any point. And I will now pass this on to my esteemed colleague, Dr. King Mott from Political Science.
Good afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world. I think this is one of the great things about being remote is that some of you can come to us from all over the world. And so I welcome you in a particular way to the College of Arts and Sciences. And it's just a pleasure to listen to my colleagues. And it's such a wonderful thing to take part in this, to hear their accomplishment, and also to see what we all do, which is we encourage you to engage all of the departments with the kind of attention that the chairs now are presenting to you. I'd like to turn a little bit to our program and to what we do to try and give you a bit of a taste, but also please follow up with me at any time and we can have some Zoom conversations. The first thing I'd like to have you recognize is that just doing this, being on this conversation on Teams, is indicative of how the world has changed. And I want you to know that our department is prepared for that change in the upcoming years. We have directed a great deal of attention to syllabi. You needn't worry about whether this pandemic grows or shrinks. The university is ready, and I can tell you that our department is ready for face-to-face, for a hybrid, and also for complete remote. The Department of Political Science and Public Administration is a highly accomplished and engaged faculty. I think the easiest way to look at this is probably a classic definition of politics, and one that fits right now for what's going on with Black Lives Matter, Me Too, the Trump administration, the upcoming election. And Laswell, political science, argued that that who gets what, when, and how is really the basic way of understanding politics. Who gets what? Who gets the money? Who gets the land? Who gets the airtime? Who gets the social media? Who controls that? And we come at that question from a varied, traditional patterns, which would be international relationships, comparative politics, political theory, law, American government. But we have experts in film, environment, nonprofit. We have experts in queer theory. We have experts in feminist theory, legal theory, gender and politics, gender and the law. And so all of us have a particular kind of slice on examining power, examining how power works. Now, that necessarily brings us to the contemporary world, and I have very little time left, so I just want you to know also that we connect this all to our contemporary world and bring that. Our students are successful, they get placed, they have access to law schools. We have an advanced 3-3 program in law, and we have a 3-2 in public administration. So much more to talk about, but I don't have time. Thanks to all my colleagues and to all the students that are here listening, and welcome to Seton Hall and welcome to the Department of Political Science and Public Administration.
I think I'm next. So I can't believe I have to follow Dr. Mott, so thanks for that. I'm Dr. Amy Hunter, and I'm the chair of the psychology department. So on behalf of psychology, welcome to Seton Hall. We are really delighted to have you as part of our family. So psychology has both a BA and a BS degree. If you are not sure which one is right for you, please let me know. I'm happy to work through that with you. We also have a psychology minor, which is pretty easy to fit in with other majors or other double majors. For the fall, we have a lot of psychology classes on the schedule. Most of you will be taking Intro to Psych. Even if you're not a psych major, we invite you to take Intro Psych. It's a popular class on campus for good reason. We put our best professors in Intro Psych. And in fact, a lot of our Intro Psych professors have literally won awards for their teaching. They love what they do. They love teaching, and especially that class. So I'm sure that you'll get a lot out of it. If you're a psychology major, you'll also be taking sometime your freshman year a 1-credit class called Orientation to the Major, which helps you learn more about the psych department at Seton Hall. And we also talk, importantly, about what you can do with a psychology degree. So what kinds of jobs you could get, why you might want to get a master's degree, why you might want to get a doctoral degree. But we talk through that in that 1-credit course. And I'm actually teaching one section of that course this fall. So I look forward to getting to know some of you a lot better in that class. The other thing to look out for is if you're a psych major, we have a psychology peer mentoring program. So please look forward to hearing about that once the fall semester gets up and running. So once again, welcome to Seton Hall. We are really delighted to have you here, and we look forward to getting to know you better once classes start in the fall. And with that, I will turn it over to my colleague, Dr. Choi, the chair of religion.
Great, thank you, Dr. Hunter. Hello, my name is Professor Casey Choi, and I am the chair of the Department of Religion. I specialize in moral theology and social ethics, and I am one of the many theologians and scholars of religion who are dedicated to ensuring that students at Seton Hall are given unparalleled opportunities for research and study. The Department of Religion offers a rigorous course of study in the following 4 areas. And so for those of you who may not be familiar with our curriculum, let me just give you a brief overview of our 4 areas. The first area is biblical studies or sacred scripture. The second area is Catholic and ecumenical theology, and this includes systematic theology, philosophical theology, and the philosophy of religion. The third area is comparative religions, especially the dialogue between Islam, Judaism, and Catholicism. And the fourth area, perhaps one of our more popular areas, is the study of theological, religious, and social ethics. We study questions theologically and ethically about questions such as the nature of death, the meaning of happiness, freedom and liberation, the morality of war, medical ethics, income inequality, the relationship between church and state, the intersections between race and political economy, and many, many more. Our professors are everywhere, and to some extent that's not an understatement at all. That's really actually not accurate. We are literally everywhere, to be more accurate, I should say. You'll of course meet religion professors in your core religion courses, but you'll also encounter them in the honors program, in the university core, in the Middle Eastern Studies program, in the Women and Gender Studies program, and many more. Our recent grads have gone on to Seton Hall Law School, graduate school at Yale University, state government work in both New Jersey, and one of our graduates works for the state of Ohio. We have graduates in the Teach for America program, students who have gone on to business and the corporate sector. We also have a recent grad who's about to be a commissioned officer in the Navy. We offer a major and minor in religion. Our master's degree in Jewish Christian Studies is famous for the role it has played in the drafting of Nostra Aetate during Vatican II. And our master's degree program in Jewish Christian Studies is also famous for implementing the Holocaust education mandate for K through 12 education here in New Jersey. We also offer an accelerated degree program that allows you to obtain a BA and a master's in public administration in 5 years. We also offer an accelerated degree that allows you to obtain a BA in law degree from Seton Hall in only 6 years. And like many of the other majors in the College of Arts and Sciences, our students major in both religion and political science, in philosophy and religion, and biology, in religion and history, and so on and so on. There are many possibilities. In all of our courses, you will be challenged to think critically, to imagine the world from different angles of vision, and to think about how to transform your studies in the classroom into action in society. And that last part really is quite important, to be able to translate what you study in the classroom into quote unquote the real world. The faculty of the Religion Department are committed to the life of the mind and academic excellence, but perhaps more importantly, I, as well as all of my distinguished colleagues in the department, are committed to helping students pursue a life that is truthful and committed to the common good and social justice. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once famously said, quote, "If we are to have peace on earth, our loyalties must become ecumenical rather than sectional. Our loyalties must transcend our race, our tribe, our class, and our nation. And this means we must develop a world perspective," end quote. The Department of Religion aspires to actualize the message of this quote in our teaching and scholarship, and we invite you to join us in this pursuit. Now, I believe I have the high honor of introducing my colleague, Dr. Rhonda Quinn, from the department. She's the chair of the Department of Sociology, Anthropology, and Social Work. Dr. Quinn.
Thank you, Dr. Choi. So I'm here today to talk to you about the program offerings that we have in sociology, anthropology, criminal justice, and we have an interdisciplinary program called social and behavioral sciences. Our bachelor degree programs also contribute to our dual degree master's programs. That includes museum studies, public administration, and occupational therapy. Our social science programs provide practical but wide-ranging social knowledge to empower students to understand how our constructed social systems function. For example, we are interested in understanding the roles of gender, race, religion, and poverty on our systems of health, education, our labor practices, and the criminal justice system. We frame our knowledge in social and criminological theories, but it's also important for us to provide our students with very practical tools and research methods to understand and analyze our complex and quite rapidly changing world. Our majors in sociology, anthropology, and criminal justice offer traditional discipline-specific undergraduate curricula, and these are very much aligned with the American schools in those disciplines and look very much like other US-based university programs. But we also offer an interdisciplinary degree in social and behavioral sciences, and this draws on a diversity of courses offered by all of Seton Hall's social science programs, including two of the ones you've listened to already, psychology and political science, as well as social work, which you'll hear next. This interdisciplinary major is structured in 3 tracks, which are allied health, policy, justice, and administration, as well as a more flexible culture and society. In this major, students can really craft their own curriculum under these topical areas rather than strictly defined by disciplines. And so we integrate several social science course offerings. For example, the Allied Health track, which serves the dual degree program in occupational therapy, is underpinned by the idea, I think, that we all are seeing very much now, that health is heavily impacted on our social environment. And so, for instance, students can choose courses that speak to issues of differential access to healthcare, health disparities across our demographic categories, and our social and behavioral underpinnings of health. So, for instance, a course combination could be medical anthropology, both developmental and abnormal psychology, as well as our social work course offering substance abuse assessment and intervention. Our departmental faculty, we are a large department. Our departmental faculty are wide-ranging. But some of our areas of expertise include social and labor movements, social media, cultural heritage, cross-cultural practices of religion, both social and criminological theory, and then criminal courts practice. And myself, I'm an evolutionary and a forensic anthropologist and biological anthropology. We very much encourage our students to, of course, engage in the in-class and research activities on campus, but we also are very much encouraging students to get out of the classroom and get learning experience and a diversity of not just other programs and intersecting with other minors that you've heard about some today, but also things like internships, field work, volunteer opportunities. We think this is an important part to integrate those knowledge areas back into what you're learning inside the classroom. Our students have interned at the UN, the FBI, the DEA, immigration law offices, museums are very popular in our programs, and they have also engaged in field-based research, both on their own with other dovetailing programs, but also with our faculty in political rallies, religious ceremonies, archaeological excavations, and in our own skeletal laboratory that we have on campus. Our students are very much supported to present their original research. We do engage in, our Seton Hall has a wide undergraduate academic expo, but we also encourage students to present their work at national research conferences. We think that's an important part of the professional development. And again, it's using what you've learned in the classroom to apply it to real world situations. Our programs provide a strong liberal arts foundation for careers in cultural resource management, healthcare and social services, policy analysts in urban planning, criminal investigation and law enforcement, marketing research, human resources, and community development. It really is, there's a lot you can do with a social science major, and we do contribute to that broad base and again, a strong liberal arts foundation. Our graduates have entered professional programs in occupational therapy, athletic training, accelerated nursing on the side of the healthcare professions, but also in things like social work, which you'll hear about our undergraduate program. Several of our students have also made that transition to both master's and PhD programs in social work, law school, museum studies, and other more traditional graduate programs, both master's and PhD in sociology, anthropology, and criminology. Our alum have secured positions in a number of different areas. This includes diversity inclusion coordinators, healthcare managers, guidance counselors, paralegals, criminal analysts, of course, our positions with law enforcement, policing, corrections, and court administration, but also other ones that we wouldn't necessarily think of. Our recent grad who worked in my lab, Michelle Prizzi is her name, she secured a job in a bioethics laboratory. And that was a bit of her intersection with, she had taken courses in philosophy and bioethics that Dr. Zakim talked to you about, but also she worked in my laboratory working with human skeletal material. So it was important that, we realized that all of these disciplines provide an area for you as students to intersect knowledge areas and skill sets in ways that speak to your career goals, but also your goals for your larger kind of knowledge areas. And so we are a small university compared to other ones in the region, but what we think we offer is enough of that intersection. Our department absolutely strives to provide very solid foundations in these very discipline-specific knowledge areas, but we're very dedicated to intersecting the disciplines in order to really tackle important societal issues. It is my honor to introduce the next person, who is the director of the Africana Studies, and who also offers an incredible minor and major programs that we see intersecting with our department as well, Dr. Kelly Harris.
Thank you, Dr. Quinn, for introducing me, and good morning to everyone, and welcome to Seton Hall University. It's interesting that we're doing this in this moment in our history in this country, because really I think this goes back to a quote that LeBron James said, and it's been on t-shirts now, "Can you hear us now?" And I think Africana Studies, supporters of Africana Studies can use that same quote when we're talking about the importance of Africana Studies. So we're in August of this year, we will be arriving at the 50th anniversary of Africana Studies at Seton Hall University, and it started at the Black Studies Center. And interestingly enough, in the same way that we're having discussions today behind the murder of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery, the same way that those are leading to discussions about race, class, and gender in this country, is the same way Africana Studies was born in 1968 at San Francisco State University, where students and activists have been looking at curriculum in American higher education and saying that there's a void that we need to fill, that people of African descent and other groups are not being represented in higher education, and we're not looking at it from the viewpoint of their particular experiences. And this really goes back to one of our great forerunners, W.E.B. Du Bois, who's considered the greatest intellectual for Black people in this country's history. And he had just a very simple quote. He said, "There is but one coward on earth, and that is the coward that dare not know." And so Africana Studies was born really to just fill that void. So here at Seton Hall University, as we are in our 50th year, as we arrive here, we're trying to fill a void, not only at Seton Hall, but in New Jersey. So one of the things that we strive for our students to do is not only strive for excellence in their classes, but provide excellence in leadership and provide excellence as social change activists and as change agents in whatever field that they choose to perform. So to give an example, we're not just activists, it's not just social activism, which is very important. But if we look at someone like Claudia Thomas, who's the first female orthopedic surgeon in this country's history. If we look at Mae Jemison, the first Black female astronaut in this country's history. If we look at Mark Morial, former mayor of New Orleans and former head of the National Urban League. If we look at Angela Bassett, a brilliant actress. If we look at Tatiana Ali, another actress, model, and singer. If we look at Aaron Magruder, the creator of the Boondocks, who's a writer and a cartoonist. If we look at Ava DuVernay, a filmmaker who produced When They See Us and the documentary The 13th. And we can go on, and I use these examples to show you that people of Africana Studies and African American Studies have gone on to do great things in a variety of different fields. And that's what we are really challenging our students to do. So you can double major in Africana Studies, you can major in it or minor in it. We are now have a 3-2 program with the Political Science Department, with the MPA program, where you can get your MPA, Masters of Public Administration, and a degree in Africana Studies. We are currently working with the College of Education to train teachers in New Jersey public schools to teach Africana Studies in the public school system, and we're working, and the Amistad Commission is partnering with us on that particular initiative. So we're really looking for students, and I should mention, we also have a student organization, the Council of Africana Scholars, and we really are excited about what's happening in the world at this time, and really looking for students to get on board and help lead and change and transform this country. Finally, if you take but one Africana Studies class, please take the Intro to Afro-American Studies class. I think it's something that will really change your life. Thank you very much, and it is my great pleasure and honor to introduce Dr. Inez Marzaku, who is Professor of Religion and Director of Catholic Studies.
Thank you so much, Dr. Harris. Yes, I'm Professor of Religion and the Director of Catholic Studies. My area of expertise actually is church history or ecclesiastical history, especially focusing on Catholicism, the history of the church, of the Catholic Church, and the Byzantine churches. So dear students, welcome to Seton Hall University. We are really very happy to have you. I encourage you to make the most of your time here at Seton Hall University. Do not be afraid to aim high, to see big, to reach for more. Your college experience, after all, will be what you make it to be. If you decide to make your college experience as big and as bold as it can be, I would strongly suggest that you add a double major, a minor, or a certificate in Catholic Studies to your primary major. So Catholic Studies is the enhancer to any other major or minor that you'll get. A double major in Catholic Studies is a double major in the Catholic intellectual tradition that will give you the tools to think from an interdisciplinary perspective. And that is the core of Catholic Studies, interdisciplinary perspective. You will learn to connect. So connect your first major to Catholic Studies. You'll learn to apply the Catholic intellectual tradition to your first major, and you'll learn to amplify your thinking, to think big, as I said. So Catholic Studies has become a popular second major option for students in pre-med, sciences, healthcare, communication, journalism, everywhere. So let's say you are a biology major, pre-med, PT, PA. How could a Catholic Studies degree enhance your first major? How could it enhance your college experience? How could it enhance your employment opportunities? Here is the answer. A Catholic Studies degree can do all of these things by the courses that we offer. So these courses will give you the tools of the humanities to get a grasp, for example, of science. Our courses are taught by faculty who have dual degrees, so a degree in science, for example, and a degree in the Catholic intellectual tradition, or a degree in religion or theology. For example, the course Catholicism, Healthcare, and Human Condition, taught by Dr. Carlino, who is a medical doctor, will give you the tools to connect the healthcare to the Catholic intellectual tradition. Or the course, for example, Popes and Science, taught by a physicist and a theologian, and so on and so forth. If your first major is business, for example, you might be especially interested to take Catholic Studies course Spirituality of Work or Spirituality of Sports if you are in the sports management. Have you ever thought of food and nutrition from a theological perspective? If not, Catholic Studies is here to offer theology of food, taught by a chemist, Father Jerry Buonapane, that his last name actually means good bread. So the right person to teach this course, I guess. Well, are you ready for this one? We live very near New York City, the center of fashion. What do faith and fashion have in common? What does the Catholic intellectual tradition offer to the world of fashion? Of course, it has a lot to offer. Did you know that Dolce & Gabbana, two distinguished Italian fashion designers, found their inspiration for the fall 2013 collection in no other place than the famous 12th century Byzantine and Venetian mosaics of Monreale Cathedral in Sicily. So you see the connections even these designers made to the Catholic intellectual tradition. And the professor actually who teaches the course Faith and Fashion, she comes from the business world. She worked from Mademoiselle, Brides and Country Living magazines, and also has a degree in theology. So in sum, a degree in Catholic studies, either a double major, a minor, or a certificate will enhance any other degree, any other major that you might have chosen. Almost all Catholic studies courses count for Core 3 courses. We also offer web-based courses and also face-to-face courses. So a degree in the Catholic intellectual tradition will make you stand out. It will help you connect, apply, and amplify. Come and join us. Do not be afraid to aim high, to see big, and to think big. Now it's my great pleasure to introduce you my dear colleague from the Environmental Studies program, Dr. Michael Taylor.
Thank you, everybody. I'm going to go a little bit quickly so that I leave enough time for the last speaker to speak a little bit as well. If you look over my shoulder, there's a QR code on the screen, and if you scan that, it will take you to a much longer video presentation of what environmental studies is all about. It talks about where our students are currently, talks about a lot of our experiential education focus. Also, if you have questions, you can email me at that email address, michael.taylor@shu.edu. I just wanted to start by talking about, you've heard interdisciplinary quite a bit from the College of Arts and Sciences, and that's a really exciting thing. You've also heard about environment coming up in different departments. And that's something that's quite interesting because it's really at the heart of what environmental studies is as an interdisciplinary program. We're trying to understand the interaction between individuals, society, and natural systems. And that's a really complex challenge. And while every discipline has an insight into that, no single discipline can really cover it holistically. And so what we do as an interdisciplinary program is we take the approach of combining methods and theories from different disciplines and integrating them together to give us that robust or holistic kind of understanding of the environment. And that's what we try to do in the program. We offer 3 majors. The most popular major is our environmental policy major. They all lead to a Bachelor of Arts degree. It is most popular because it gives you the biggest breadth. You take courses in natural sciences and social sciences and humanities. It's also very flexible to be designed to really fit your interests and your needs. We also have a major in sustainable supply chain management, which is a degree, a degree that looks to figure out how the life cycle of a product could be improved by better resource choices, by concentration on the carbon footprint, by focusing on corporate social responsibility. And students who get that major also get a certificate from the Stillman School of Business in supply chain management. And our 3rd major is environmental education, and that's a partnership with the College of Education and Human Services. Students who enroll in that major are actually housed in education, and then they choose environmental studies as their concentration. Those students go on to teach at the K through 8 level. I'm going to stop here and hand off the baton to Dr. Dawn Apgar, who is the director of the graduate and undergraduate program in social work.
Thank you so much, Dr. Taylor. First of all, I just want to welcome you to Seton Hall. In addition to being the director of the program, I'm also the mother of a college freshman, so I know what an exciting time this is. I'd like to welcome our social work majors, and if you're not a major, I'm hoping that you may consider being one during your time at Seton Hall. I don't think I need to tell you, given what's happening in this country and around the world, the importance of social work as a profession. Social workers provide 60% of all of the mental health services in the country, and we also fight for the rights of others and challenge systems which are unjust and unfair. We draw from all of the disciplines that you've heard about today, and it's very easy to double major in social work and one of the other majors that you heard about within the College of Arts and Sciences. If you can't fit a social work major into your schedule, perhaps you would consider a social work minor. We have courses in trauma, children's rights, older adults, addictions, race and bias, and so these courses are applicable to whatever profession you do choose. A couple of highlights about our program. Seton Hall has the oldest accredited undergraduate social work program in New Jersey. We just went through accreditation by the Council on Social Work Education, and we are accredited for a full 8 years. In social work, it's very important to go to an accredited program, and that's quite an honor. All of our faculty are, in addition to having advanced degrees, we're all licensed social work professionals. We're licensed clinical social workers, licensed social workers, and many of our faculty have degrees in other areas, including law. So they're all leaders within the field of social work. In social work, you have, which this is really, it's a hands-on program. So in the spring semester of your junior year and all senior year, you will be in an internship setting, and we will find the internship for you. You do not need to find that. We will place you in a hospital or a correctional facility or in a mental health agency, in the government, legislator's office. And in that year and a half hands-on experience, you will have a supervision on site as well as a faculty member who will oversee it at Seton Hall. All of our graduates are eligible immediately upon graduation to be certified social workers in New Jersey. They don't need to take any tests and can be registered with the state to do so. I don't like to brag, but I'm going to. Our graduates, because of the internship experience and sort of the close mentoring, all of our graduates have employment upon graduation, and they go to the top social work programs in the country. In the last 3 years, we have not had a single social work graduate who has not gotten into every Master's of Social Work program that he or she is applied to. Okay, so in addition, as a graduate from Seton Hall, you would be eligible in social work. You would be eligible for advanced standing status, which means that you would be able to get a MSW in 1 year instead of 2 years. I could talk for a day about our program, but I'm going to wrap it up. We do have some fantastic new opportunities. We are just launching a social work policy and justice certificate program. Our 3+3 with our law school has just been approved. It would be available. We also have a 3+3+1 for those freshmen who are really thinking ahead. You could get an undergraduate degree in social work, then go to law school, and then participate in our MSW program. It's an honor to turn over and give the last word to our dean, our leader, Dr. Peter Shoemaker.
Thank you. So we've run over a little bit. I know you all have somewhere else to be. I do hope that you, in listening to my colleagues across all of the departments and programs, have gotten some ideas, in addition to your major, of things that you'd like to do while you're here at Seton Hall. We have extremely compelling and diverse programs in the College of Arts and Sciences. If you have further questions for the chairs or program directors, there's a list in the Q&A channel of links to the web pages for the departments, or you can Google your way to the departments And there you'll see the email addresses for all of the faculty, including the directors and the chairs. So good luck for the rest of the day. Thank you for coming, and we look forward to seeing you in the fall. Bye-bye.